Yo, 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 what is up, fam? DeBarros here, your host. Thank you for joining me on the playground. And today we have the lovely Pixel 4 joining us. And let's just dive right in. There's no extra fat or fillers. We're just gonna hit it. And spoiler alert, the Pixel 4a is available for pre-order. We're gonna look at some benchmarks, some testing against I'm personally going to match it against the Pixel 3. That's the one I have. And let's just jump right into this introduction. And there we have it. Pixel 4a is 349. And let's just go on over to the specs. And this is going to be directly from the Google Store. It's available for pre-order. And let's just get down, skip all the niceties for right now. I want to show y'all the meat and potatoes. Well, actually, some people don't care about specs, but if you're coming from a Pixel 3a or 3, you can kind of see what you're going to be getting with the 349 Pixel 3a, or sorry, Pixel 4a for 349, which beats out the iPhone SE 2020 version by 50 bucks. Here, you're getting a taller, bigger screen. You're getting the 5.81 inch uh, display, and you get a transmissive hole. So you're going to get a punch hole in the upper left corner of the display. The memory and storage, 6 gigs of RAM for all you Pixel 3 and 3A owners. We know we're only struggling with 4 gigs of RAM. So this is going to be a 2 gig RAM upgrade. And the nice thing is, if you're coming from the 3A, you're getting a bump in storage, 128 gigs. So you get an extra 64 gigs. I personally have the Pixel 3 64, or sorry, Pixel 3 128 gigabytes. So for me to upgrade, this is actually just staying with the same storage, and I'm getting additional years of updates. I have to we'll pull up the upgrade timeline and when upgrades will stop for various phones, but this is what we're looking at for storage. Processors, we're getting the Qualcomm Snapdragon 730 with the octa-core Titan M in the Pixel 4a. We're getting the rear camera 12.2 megapixel dual pixel. So that is the tech specs themselves. And then we go into a comparison to the Pixel 4, which no one wants to spend $800 on a smartphone in 2020. Given, I mean, even if we weren't in a pandemic, who would want to spend 800 for a smartphone in this day and age when 350 can get you everything that you need? You're going to get fast charging. You're going to get what they call it all day battery life. Here, if you want to go more premium, you get the faster processor, 850, the Snapdragon 855. And then again, when we're talking about the Pixel 3a, this is what you can look for. You're getting a bigger screen, 4 gigs of RAM. You're going to get a bump up to 6 gigs here. And then you're going to get double storage coming from the 3a itself. You're going to have 128 gigs. Boom. You should love that. Processors, I haven't done any comparisons of the Snapdragon 670 versus the 730. That's something we can definitely look at because we're just going to sit nice and tight this morning and just kind of go over things. And so you can make a well-informed decision on what will work for you. But again, this is a pre-order for 349. As we all know, this is not going to last very long. All right, let's just keep it on moving. So it looks like I'm not sure if it's going to be the same exact camera in these units, because from the Pixel 3a, the one we're looking at right now, it just states the same specs as the new Pixel 4a, the 12.2 megapixel dual pixel. But again, the 4a, we can expect and assume that it's going to get a longer life of upgrades, obviously, because of the release cycle. It came out later than the 3a, so it will get updates longer. And we can do compare all. Let's do this. Let's do since I'm coming. Ah, shenanigans. All right. So for let's just do it this way. Let's go for all my diehard Pixel 3 owners. We're gonna compare the Pixel 3 to the 4A. So we'll come on down. So we're coming from a 5.5 display on the Pixel 3 to a 5.81 on the Pixel 4A. And now let's just keep on and moving. So we are getting an OLED, an OLED display, same pixels per inch, PPI 443 PPI. We get HDR support, and we're getting a 19.5 by 9 aspect ratio. The Pixel 3 has an 18 by 9. So it's going to be, let's see, slightly wider or 2.7-inch wide. No, it's the same width, but the screen itself looks like it's going to be slightly more filled in the frame, so slightly wider there. And always on display with the Pixel 4a. We didn't have that with the 3, which I believe you could still have those settings turned on. Ambient EQ. We're getting a larger battery life in the 4a, 3140 milliamp hours. And then in the Pixel 3, as all of us know, the wimpy battery in the 3, 2915 milliamp hours, which barely got us through a day. Sometimes if we were doing just a lot of programs in the background or apps, it got you through maybe 75% of the day, sometimes 50% if you're doing a lot of video and picture shooting. You're on vacation. I know my Pixel 3 did not last me all day. I had to take one of those battery banks with me and keep it going. So this one's claiming an all-day battery life. Um, Pixel 3 said the same thing. Obviously, we knew it. The processor was about a lot more power hungry. Fast wireless charging, we are losing that with the 4A. We have to trade in our wireless chargers, but we're getting an upgrade in other departments. Let's go to the design. Polycarbonate unibody, or aka fancy plastic. We're getting Gorilla Glass 3 cover glass. I have to look more into that. I'm not sure what the designation behind cover glass is. Here on the 3, they said that it was a soft touch glass back, active edge. And here is something we already talked about, the memory and storage. We're getting a bump of RAM, 6 gigs of RAM versus the 4 gigs in the Pixel 3. 4a is going to be up there, and it's going to be up there at 6 gigs. And 128 gigs was the top tier for the Pixel 3, and that's where we're starting off at with the 4a. So this is a hit to the iPhone SE 2020 users as well, because they start off at 64 gigs at $399. If you start at the base model of, well, this is actually the only model of the Pixel 4a, starts at 128 gigs. If you want the iPhone SE 2020 128 gigs, you're shelling out another $50 at $449 for that model. Plus, you don't get the awesome night side mode that Google has with the 4a and all the other lines, with their computational and AI computation of photography, nighttime images. It's truly quite phenomenal. There's a bunch of, you can research this, look at nighttime shots versus the iPhone SE 2020, and you can see it's literally night and day, the comparisons. Processors, this is going to be somewhere, it's going to be a concern. You got the Qualcomm Snapdragon 730 in the Pixel 4a versus in the Pixel 3, which is more power hungry, the Snapdragon 845 without the core. It does have a Pixel Visual Core. I'm curious, with the 4a not having the Pixel Visual Core, what the difference will be in image quality and/or image processing times. I have the Pixel 3a. I did just we should have a pre-order on the way, and we'll be able to compare the Pixel 3 and the Pixel 4a, and we'll be able to see what the nighttime shot modes or comparison times, and also the image quality and some other effects we'll be able to compare. Let's jump back down into the cameras. Pixel 3 here, and then the Pixel 4a, saying that we're getting 12.2 pixel rear camera with a 1.7 f-stop, a focal length 1.7, autofocus with dual pixel phase detection, optical and electronic image stabilization. Wow, this is huge. If we looked at the 3A, did the 3A also have? Okay, 3A also had optical and electronic image stabilization. I remember at one point the optical and electronic stabilization was more of a premium flagship uh, component when you had both of those. Usually the mid-tier phones only had the electronic image stabilization. All right, let's just keep it moving. We got 77 degrees of field of view on the rear camera with the 1.4 pixel width, and which is, we'll have to dig further into that, but it looks like we're getting upgraded specs on the rear camera itself as it compares to the Pixel 3. Now, the Pixel 4a will not have the Pixel Visual Core. So we have to see on what they're doing there and how they're compensating by missing the Pixel Visual Core itself. Front camera, we got an 8 megapixel on the, what is it? The Pixel 4a wide angle camera, f-stop 2.0 or fixed focus, and we get an NIR flood emitter, NIR dot projector, two NIR cameras, 84 degrees field of view, and 1.22 pixel width. So with the in comparison, we have a similar setup, 8 megapixel wide angle for the Pixel 3, but also on the Pixel 3, as y'all remember, this one has the dual, it has a wide angle lens as well. So let's just keep it moving here. So that's all the fancy tech specs, and I went in ahead and just researched the comparison of the Snapdragon 845, which is in the Pixel 3, versus the Snapdragon 730, which is in the new Pixel 4a. And this is what we can expect on these benchmarks. Snapdragon 845, this is a single and multi-core processor test that came ahead of the Snapdragon 730. So CPU performance is like it's a bit snappier than the Pixel 4a. Like when it comes to gaming performance, Snapdragon 845 edges ahead of 69, Snapdragon 730 at 35. But again, that Snapdragon 845 is a lot more power hungry, so we're wondering if that Snapdragon 730 with the extra endurance battery life, you know, if that negates the necessary performance, if it's we'll see how big of a difference this is in real world. Battery life, now this is where the Pixel 4a will edge out the Pixel 3. It's the Snapdragon 730, the score of 90, and then the Snapdragon 845, because it's a little bit more power hungry, came out with a score of 75. We'll see what the real world difference is between those two. The Nano score review, overall chip score, Snapdragon 845 66, Snapdragon 730 53. Not much difference between the two there. We'll see if Google pulled off a comparable performance based off of software optimization in their Pixel 4a. We'll see when that bad boy arrives. And then the pros of the Qualcomm Snapdragon 845, it has a 1 megabyte larger L3 cache than the Snapdragon 730. Supports 100% higher memory bandwidth, performs 89% better in floating point computations. Again, this for the average user, the Pixel 4a may just check all the boxes, and all these technical details doesn't even apply, you know? So that was something that's going to be definitely interesting when we get our hands on the Pixel 4a and compare it to the Pixel 3 and the Snapdragon 845. And this is here. And here we just did a little research this morning with at the Verge, and they were saying again, the Pixel 4a is available for pre-order on Google's site just right here. So if you go to store.google.com. You can go ahead and fetch up your pre-order. You can go ahead and get it for $349. Remember, you don't have an option of what you can select from. It's only a black version with like a light blue, light turquoise power button and the black volume rockers. So they said they've already reviewed it here. They said they have it in hand and reviewed it. I didn't jump into the Verge's review. And they're saying that Google's keeping the Pixel 5 and Pixel 4a 5G mostly under wraps, but they do have a Pixel 4a already in hand and have reviewed it. That'll be interesting to see their perspective on that. Let's keep on digging down, see if we can see any golden nuggets here. Let's see. So they're saying the Pixel 4a will cost $499, $150 price jump. Who's willing to spend an extra $150 for 5G? I guess it'll be great for everyone that's mobile, but right now, I don't know. Not a whole lot of people are getting out and about. Well, some states could say otherwise, but I believe 4A is going to, or the 4G in itself will still be quite damn good for the next 2 years. And then maybe after that, you want to start looking into a 5G phone. Some things that are unknown is battery drain. How much 5G is actually going to drain your battery when you're on the network itself, and also if it's polling for a 5G network and there's a stronger 4G network nearby, we would hope the phone would just automatically propagate to the stronger 4G signal, and 5G can be used maybe for when there's a need of the network to jump onto 5G, and hopefully it builds out. It actually preserves battery life and it doesn't drain your battery itself. So I'm curious on real world performance of 5G on battery life on actual phones. We can look at the charts, the graphs, but real world is what we're really looking for, right? That's what really counts, is real world performance. All right, Pixel 4a. So we know it's 3a. So yeah, that's the little spill at theverge.com, and that's the Pixel 4a. So some of the things that Google is touting on this release. Hey, take photos like a pro. Of course, we know that they're going to have their HDR plus night sight. Even more, again, compare this to the iPhone SE 2020. Night sight destroys the iPhone 2020 SE. It just destroys it. Another thing, I didn't know this at first. I actually had to get my hands on an iPhone SE 2020, and it does not do portrait mode on objects, only on human people. If you try to do a portrait mode on the iPhone SE, it will say a person's not in view. But on a Pixel phone, you can do a portrait on any object. So if you're really trying to get a snapshot of let's say a game controller and then blur out the surrounding effects, maybe you just want to use that as a thumbnail for your YouTube video, or you're snapping, different objects for thumbnails, or whatever you're using the photography for. The actual portrait mode can be utilized on Pixel phones, Pixel 4a, and so on and so forth, but not on the iPhone SE, which is at $399. So that's definitely a huge proponent in mobile photography, and Google having it more accessible at $349. Plus, you're getting that 128 gigabytes of storage. No one's hopefully no one's complaining about storage size at 128 gigs, but we know any container can be filled, right? So we'll still need to be maybe some people will still need to do a little bit more data management, data storage management than others. But 128 gigs on my Pixel 3, I haven't had to do much data storage management. I'm like, maybe photos that's already backed up to Google, maybe I'll have those erased from my physical phone and just clear up space there. But I've never come close to filling up my phone at 128 gigs. Next area is let's just jump into charge more, charge less, live more. So the adaptive battery, we already know that's already built into the Pixel ecosystem, into, Pixel or Android 10. And I'm sure Google itself was optimized that component on the Pixel 4a. So that's something that'll be fun to see how long the battery actually lasts at that 3140 milliamp hours, which is quite significant. Well, it's a bump over the Pixel 3, which is 2,900 milliamp hours or 29 something milliamp hours. So we just looked at. Get help on the go. Again, they're touting their Google Assistant. I me personally, Google Assistant hasn't been a big deal for me or a big proponent for me. I simply yeah, I really don't use Google Assistant unless it's one on my little Google Home Mini itself. That's where I really use Google Assistant. Other than that, I'm just like, okay, whatever. I don't really use it on my phone. It's nice that it's there, but again, that's a big proponent that Google is promoting, right? And then peace of mind, 3 years of updates. So with this coming out in August 20 of August 20 of 2020, we should get updates all the way through August 2023, based off of these here. And so you can be sure that you have 3 years of updates on your phone. We know with Apple, they've been supporting some projects, some products out the 5 6 years, and I don't believe they specify how long they actually support their product line. But I think that's one area where Apple has a leg up on Google. Apple supports their products a lot longer than Google itself. Google, they'll give you a 3 year and then they're out. They jump ship. They're ready for a new wife. They're ready for a new girlfriend. They're like 3 years is enough. I've had enough of you. Peace out. Apple's like that long term marriage. It's like, you know what? We gone through some tough times at the 3 year mark. We're gonna keep it going. We're gonna invest a little bit more time into this marriage. So Apple definitely has a bonus when it comes to the updates themselves. Let's just jump into y'all can look at this. This is where it goes into the photography, jaw-dropping photos, near, far, or even galaxies away. Oh shit. So we're gonna be able to do some nighttime or the galaxy photography top-notch photos taken up a notch. Do y'all see what they did there? There's gonna be the little punch hole notch in the front display for the selfie cam, and then the rear has the square. And there's the Cosmo, capture the Cosmo. So we're going to be able to do that on the 4A. And then obviously low light, which the 4A will crush the iPhone SE 2020 version by far, easily. Portraits that are all pro. Focus on your subjects by adding an artistic blur to the background in portrait mode, which can be used on both humans and objects, inanimate objects. iPhone SE 2020, there has to be a human person in photo before it will even let you do portrait mode. Interesting call by Apple. And then you can actually control the blur. That's something we can expect with the Pixel 4a. Sharing a snap. Send photos directly from viewfinder of your Pixel camera to your favorite Google and third-party apps, social apps. So we're getting a revised Google Photos. That's another thing I'm wondering if they're announcing today. Upgrade of Google Photos, and then the battery that takes you from breakfast to bed. Ooh, that sounds sexy, boy. So they're saying more talking, streaming, and selfies, and less charging. And yeah, if only yeah, that's what she said. A battery that takes you from breakfast to bed. All day battery, the adaptive battery of the 4A learns your favorite apps and blah blah, reduces your power to the ones you rarely use. We understand that. Quick charge, the fast charging battery is designed to get you back to the things you love as quick as possible. And then Google Assistants helping you throughout your day. Set a reminder. Well, I said this is good, but again, I use Google Home Mini for my notifications. I'm like, hey, set a timer for 10 minutes if I'm cooking or 20 minutes, whatever. Having it on your phone for someone that doesn't have a Google Home Mini, I can see how Assistant is really impactful in your life. And then you can play the demo of the new Google Assistant. Seem like there's a new assistant at every launch of a new product. Oh wait, there's more. And the robocalls, obviously, for all of us Pixel 3 and 3A users, we're already accustomed and spoiled to the robocall blocker And then they're bringing across the transcribe feature, which is amazing, and the Pixel line itself is, transcribe. Well, that'll record your voice and also transcribe as you're recording. For all you students or great note takers, this is amazing when you're just taking notes in either in class or if you're doing a Zoom call, you could put your phone up to the either to your headphones or let's say your external speakers, and you'll be surprised what transcribe actually picks up over your speakers. And if the instructor speaking, it does a great job of picking up the transcription and the audio quality on a Zoom call. So that's a tip that something you may want to do. Set your phone next to your computer speakers or whatever speakers you're next to, and just transcribe whatever training that you're doing. And then rest assured that you get a mind knowing that your phone is working to keep you secure and safe with the Titan M chip. And for at least 3 years, we're curious on what that at least 3 years is. Let's see if we can see the product availability. Nope, we're going back. And again, it's only available in just black. And when you scroll down to the bottom, it's just going to show you the different comparisons. Hey, which pixel is right for you? What pixel is right for you? And then you have to compare all. And then your Pixel 4a comes with 3 months of Google One, which is their storage platform. Their 100 gigabytes of cloud storage. Trade in your old phone. So if you're coming from a Pixel 3a and you're like, hey, I don't want this anymore, you can go ahead and trade it in. If your Pixel 3 is in top notch shape, I went through the estimate myself before we tuned in here, and they're going to give me $170 for my Pixel 3a 128 gig version, and it's free of screen cracks. I always have a screen protector on it, so it doesn't have any screen cracks, and it's in working functionality. They're going to give me $170 for my Pixel 3. I almost feel like I could get a little bit more off of eBay for the condition my phone is in. And I do have the little slightly small chipping of the charging port, which was notorious for the Pixel 3, but it's all cosmetic. Everything else, there's no scratch and no other flaws anywhere else on the phone. You can finance your Pixel. You can add extra protection for anyone that's nervous and just wants extra care on top of their phone, and then free shipping on orders over 35. There was even on top of that free shipping, there was a special code. I s- the special code was Google Store Today, and that'll give you free 2-day shipping on all orders with this code. And then the terms that'll apply. See, and here's the pre-order today special. Pre-order the Pixel 4a now and get free 2-day shipping. Just use the code Google Store Today. And then they have some shenanigans. The Google Portrait Machine. I haven't seen this. This is interesting. I may have to, in my leisure, I might have to dig around and have some fun with the episodes on these. If anyone's watched this Google Portrait Machine, let me know. Looks like we got a comment. Hey, Jay Delights. Let's see here. What else were we looking at? So yeah, that's the Pixel 4a, everyone. And from what I could tell, there wasn't much else from press release. Google. Let's do this. Let's go to Engadget. See if there's anything else reported on the 4a. Oh, they're saying that this is the best $350 phone. Google owns the mid-range. I don't know if you can say that yet. I mean, yeah, if you compare it to the iPhone SE 2020, which starts off at $399 with 64 gigs of storage, um, yes, you can say that. but it's gonna take time and sales numbers. Google's gonna have to sell a boatload of these 4As to really own the mid range. And I've said it in the past. I feel like Google I feel like that should be their lane. They should stay in the mid range. I know they're not gonna do this. They should stay in the mid range. They should come out with the mid range tablet that's maybe 250 dollars. That's pure Android and supported by Google. Maybe they can start in the, they can start like in the 8-inch tablet size range and just really own the mid-range tablet. But I digress. Yes, they're gonna have to sell a boatload of these 4As to really say they own the mid-range. Right now, I mean, right now, Motorola and Lenovo, um, who else? TCL, they're kicking Google's ass in the mid-range. Right now, it's really a conglomerate, just all over the place. I would say Motorola's probably, if I had to just guess off the top of my head, Motorola's probably got the mid-range right now, which ironically Google sold off years ago. But I feel like the mid-range for smartphones is where Google belongs. And really, they could do a really good mid-range tablet, even if they wanted to do a 10 or 11-inch, pure Android, and just Android. No, none of this Chrome OS Android smorgasbord garbage. Just focus on a really good Android tablet, because right now I think Lenovo's kicking ass in the tablet space. They're back to the basic hardware, and Gadget says. Let's see the pros of the Pixel 4a: affordable price, excellent camera, fast performance. So we can tell that some of these outlets already had a review unit of the 4a, and they are already like, yeah, they can see the benefits as they've been testing and benchmarking or reviewing them. So affordable price, excellent camera, fast performance, has a fingerprint sensor and a headphone jack. That's something that the iPhone SE 2020 does not have. It does not have a headphone jack. That's gonna be phenomenal. That'd be awesome. I could go back to using I could use my studio headphones on on my actual phone again. Um, or I can use some really nice cans on my phone itself. I had to use a stupid damn dongle with this damn Pixel 3, but I missed the headphone jack. Useful software, Google software features, that's pretty ambiguous. There's a lot of shit that Google has in their software. Cons, only one variant. Oh, boohoo. Everyone's gonna have a black Pixel 4a. We don't get any pretty colors, just black. And then only one rear camera. Well, that's what the Pixel 3 and the Pixel 3a had, so we're not really missing much there. Pixel 4, yeah, Pixel 4 is the premium $800 and above. They get the two cameras, but for 350, you're not going to get that dual camera that's in the 4. It's not going to move over to the 4a. So sorry there. Summary: they're saying that the Google proves it's the ruler of the mid-range phones with the Pixel 4a. Um, I think it proves that they they potentially could be the ruler of the mid-range. Who knows? This is only if Google stays the course. Google is like they're almost like a fidgety pirate. They're always jumping from fidgety pirate that's they can't settle down with one woman. They're always jumping from booty to booty to booty, right? They want that treasure. Um, so they'll release something, they'll support it for a little bit, they'll discard it. Sometimes they'll cut off a product, just done with it. And it goes off into the ether, and you're off cursing Google, and you're like, your hard-earned dollars just into this product that you really enjoyed, and there it goes, because they feel like it's time to cut ship on to the next booty. So it's really gonna. I say we have to give them some. We have to give it some time. We have to. I think we have to give it more than a year. We're gonna have to give them 2-3 years to see if they're really the ruler of the mid-range phone, because with Google's track record, it's almost like we can predict that they would not stay in the mid-range for 4 years. They would just jump ship and peace out. They may support it for 1 or 2 years and they're gone. And then Lenovo or Motorola would swoop in for that market share, eat it up. So this statement here, I don't think it proves the potential of being the ruler of the mid-range phone, but they're not the ruler quite yet. Not quite yet. Did good with 3A. Now they're moving on to the 4A. They're gonna have to, keep progressing with the 5A, the 6A, the 7A, the 8A, and then let's say 2024. Let's talk about them being the ruler of the mid range. But their track record, they don't support their products long enough to say they're a ruler of the mid range yet. All right, it offers flagship quality photos. I can believe that. Without having a 4A on hand, with me having a Pixel 3A, I can believe that statement. Fast performance, good battery life for 350. Um, has Pixel only tools like live caption for calls, call screening, recorder, and personal safety features. That's where it can call 911 for you if you're in an accident and you can't physically get to your phone, but it does like collision detection and it can call 911 for you. Though it only comes in one color option and just a single rear camera, the Pixel 4a still manages to be the best phone for the price. And I think they're doing this because they don't want too much overhead going into this 350 price, and I think they're trying to niche down into the mid-range, but again, it's going to take some time to see if they're really the ruler of the mid-range. Let's see what else the Engadget states here. The Pixel's always been a phone that felt a lot nicer than it looked. Yeah, I mean, it's a smartphone and looks like this. The actual design and shape doesn't change much, right? You get your fingerprint sensor, so there's not much change there. What we looking at? What we looking at? So they already did their Pixel 4a review, their photos. Let's take a look at some of these photos here. So this is a picture of the 4a. Looks slightly wider, or the screen looks a little bit more filled in, a little wider itself, with having less bezels. Let's see if I can show you on the. So let's just go to google.com on my phone. And we can already see Pixel 4a review is all over the interwebs this morning, but definitely more screen real estate than what I have on my Pixel 3. Let's just keep scrolling through here. All right, there's the bottom. We got your downward firing speakers, USB Type C charging port. It would be kick ass if they did HDMI out, um, display out on that USB port, just to shock people, just to be like, oh damn, our 4A, our 354A can do display out. That would be sick. I think that's one thing I'm gonna test. I'm not expecting it to, but that's the one thing I'm gonna test. There's the lovely and almighty worshipped 3.5 millimeter headphone jack. That's gonna be a welcome addition. Funny how it can't be on a premium phone, but it can be on a mid-range phone. Like, okay, you're already charging almost $1,000 for your premium. You can't add a headphone jack. Um, yeah. And I'm sure I haven't seen anything about the IPX rating as far as waterproofing or weatherproofing, and I'm sure it's probably on par with the 3A. So I don't plan on it being like the Pixel 3, where it can take a dunk of water and survive for 30 minutes and then pull it back out and you're still in business. But hey, for 350, just make sure I don't drop that damn thing in the toilet when it. Make sure I keep I'll make sure I keep this damn phone out of the bathroom every time I use. It's gonna be. I'm gonna set it right next to the door. I'm like, you don't bother me when I'm on the toilet. Just leave it outside the bathroom. Done deal. So they're just showing pictures of the just 28, but These are not like pictures from the 4A. It's pixels of the 4A, which doesn't really do anything for us, you know? Okay, we know it has a here's that notch camera that we know about. Let's see what yeah, okay. Wait, is that a VPN? Is that Google Fi? Maybe that's Google Fi. Then we got the camera square, which houses the flash and the actual camera sensor. I think it has some other like the some other sensors in that's kind of held behind that glass there. And then the fingerprint sensor, which is recessed and it's not surrounded by glass backing like the 3 is. So you don't worry about any glass breaking on the back itself, just that camera module. Okay, there's the size of it. All right. Compared to a camera lens. Let's see here. What else are we looking at? Okay, and that's the Pixel 4a in portrait. Landscape backside. And front side portrait. Front side portrait. And I think that's it. Let's see if we got anything else. All right, Google's first true all-screen phone because they've integrated the selfie cam as a punch hole dot. 5.8-inch screen. Nearly takes up the whole front of the phone. Now the 4A looks like a modern-looking phone since they're using that punch dot. I mean, what classifies modern is what everyone follows is modern. Like one manufacturer does it, another one does it, and 20 more do it. Now they've set the standard for what is modern, and if you don't do it, you're not modern. I don't know. I guess that's been the whole thing with fads and fashion and all that, right? Something. And then they even bring up the iPhone SE here. iPhone SE still sports a tiny 4.7-inch screen. That's teeny. That's baby. I guess if you have baby hands, I mean, you get tiny hands, a 4.7-inch screen would be fine with you. Uh, and they're talking about the OnePlus Nord and the Galaxy A51 have similar screens with camera cutout that measure 6.4 to 6.5 inches. And the 4A's Full HD plus OLED panel is almost the same price as the Pixel 4's, or is almost the same as the Pixel 4's. Both support HDR and are bright enough to see in sunlight. All right now. And they're saying they enjoyed watching episodes of Sense8 and scenes from a Pride parade were vibrant and detailed. All right. Let's see here. I was surprised when I realized I missed one important Pixel 4 feature. It's 90 hertz refresh rate. That's for the Pixel 4. The Pixel 4a only refreshes at 60 hertz, which made things like scrolling my Instagram or Twitter feeds look slightly sluggish. If you've ever laid eyes on a 90 hertz screen, you won't miss it. So yeah, if we for all of us normal Pixel 3 and Pixel 3a users, we're not going to notice any sluggish feed scrolling. And then the A51 and the iPhone SE are both stuck at 60 hertz. And then they're saying, for the price, though, this is a minor sacrifice. Got the Pixel 4a's bottom firing speakers. They're saying flagship cameras for a fraction of the price. We'll see how that turns out when compared to a Pixel 3 versus a 4A. Man, at this stage of the game, those two generations, yeah, 4A probably is a Pixel 3 replacement, but we'll see. Uh, let's see. The Pixel 4 costs $799, though it frequently goes on sale for $450. See, when Google's throwing it on for sale, they're trying to get rid of stock. They're like, Pixel 4 really should have been priced at 450 and the 4A at 350, even though I think there's quite a significant difference in the processing power of both phones. And then the 4A has that visual core inside of it. Let's see here. Shot buildings. They shot flowers. Okay, here we're going to the camera photos. This is the fun stuff we can jump into here. What the fuck is going on? All right, we're just gonna. All right, here we go. Pixel 4a camera sample directly from the Pixel 4a. I would say this is a selfie. Yeah, selfie cam. Okay. I would say this is a rear camera. Nice highlighting and shadow. Okay. I can't say too much for color reproduction. I mean, it does seem cool, but I wasn't there on site. Maybe the grass is greener over wherever she's at. Sherilyn Lowe, a little darker leaf trees. See, what about details? Can we read anything on the sign? It says on standing or something. No standing. Just keep it moving. Nice little detail on the flower. Like this is what I was speaking about earlier, y'all. Talking about the portrait mode and on how on iPhone SE 2020 you can't do portrait mode on inanimate objects, can't, not anything other than a human. Here the Pixel 4a looks like this is a portrait mode uh, with some blurring of the background elements and then a focus on the focal point itself. Uh, like I'd like to see a little bit more focus on some of the other elements here. Oh, maybe that's a flower in the background. Okay. But yeah, the iPhone SE wouldn't let you do a portrait on a flower. So again, that's a big one up on a Pixel 4a user. They can take portrait modes of objects, so you can get that nice effect of an object that you want to use for a thumbnail. iPhone SE users, you're out of luck. You can't do that. You'll have to take a picture and then do some post processing on your computer to do any bokeh effect or post processing on your phone or whatever device you have. All right, let's take a look at some more things here. Got a stoplight. Looks like what is a church. Little dumplings. All right, all right. You can see flower specks on her fingers. We can see her cuticles. And I like how the background is focused on her hand and the dumpling. Everything else is. We do see some noise, some grainy noise in the background. But it looks like this was like low light, like she was indoors and with lower lighting than outdoors. So I guess that's acceptable. That's understandable. There's the cooked dumplings. Okay. Oh, that you can see the moisture in between the grooves. Look really good. Moisture in between the grooves. So that's really nice detail of the Pixel 4a. Okay. Here she's cooking up there's the dumpling filling. Can't tell you what she has there. Is that like ground beef and then some egg and chives and then cheese? Looks yummy. But looks like it is lower light than an outdoor photo, right? Or a welly lit place. But we can see that there's pretty good detail. I mean, we can see that this is a bag of cheese. See that word cheese upside down? We can see it right there. What else can we see? Measuring spoons. She got the measuring spoon buried in some ground beef there or whatever that is. Not too shabby. Let's just keep it moving. And then is this New York City? So she got a little skyline. I mean, details not bad at all for a Pixel 4a $350 phone. Ooh, sunset? Or is it sunrise? Sunrise here. This would look really nice. Got some more skyline photos. Ooh, this nighttime photo. I wonder if she used night mode on this one. This looks really nice. You can see how the ambience of the lighting just hover above the city line. Looks really nice. Okay, okay. Pixel 4a, I see you. That one was blurry. Her hand was shaking or something. But we can tell a little steadier. Not so much. There's a lot blur. And I don't see if there's a tag which one was night mode and not night mode. Ooh, that's zoom. That looks nasty. Too much too much noise, grain. Nasty. Looks like this is another zoom of a flower, kind of in overcast a little bit. And then we're back to the selfie. So yeah, it'd been nice if we'd have known which photos were night sight versus just regular photos from the like HDR plus from the Pixel 4. Okay. All right, in use live captioning. Use live caption for calls. Oh wow. So you can now use live caption for calls. The other person will hear a voice announcement that captions are on. Interesting. Interesting. It's like, hey, someone calls you, like, yo, bitch, I'm capturing this call. If it's anything you don't want to say, you better hang up right now. That's an interesting feature. I mean, when it comes to it, it's your phone. You decide what to do it with it, right? Ain't no one paying your damn bill. Shit. Person calling you most likely ain't paying your bill. So you get to do as you please. They don't like it, they can leave. All right, let's see. 6 gigs of RAM, we know this. Pixel 4a runs Android 10, which isn't a surprise considering Android 11 is still in public beta. Still in the kitchen, still in the it hasn't made to the dinner table, still in the kitchen. It's even in the kitchen, like the damn cellar door underneath the kitchen. People are still working shit out. All right. What else are talking about this? Battery life. One area Google tends to fall short of the competition's battery life. That is true. True that. But the Pixel 4a has surprised me on that front. Okay. Despite packing a relatively small 3,140 milliamp cell, the Pixel 4a lasted 12 hours and 26 minutes on our video rundown test. Okay. It says that's just shy of the Nord's nearly 13-hour mark. Huh. All right, all right. In real world use, the Pixel 4a easily made it a day and a half. But the Galaxy A51 and its 4,000 milliamp hour battery barely made it a day. And the iPhone SE couldn't even manage that. Yeah, the iPhone SE got a super tiny battery. Don't even try to come to the table, iPhone SE. So Google has shown that they're clever with their software tweaks that can help battery life, extend battery life. So that's going to be something very, very helpful in the Pixel 4a. And there's another front photo, a frontal of the Pixel 4a. Nice frontal there. Their wrap up, and they're saying honestly, they've never been this impressed by a mid-range phone. They're saying despite a lack of style and the single rear camera, which phone really has style? Don't you style up your phone with cases and glitter? I don't know. And then plus at 350 is cheaper than iPhone SE, the Galaxy A51, and the OnePlus Nord. Oh, and it's all that and a bag of chips, and it has none of their fluff. It doesn't have Samsung UI or whatever the hell they put on their shit these days. Doesn't have any of the OnePlus skin. It's pure Google, pure Android, if you will, and it's coming straight from Google, from the horse's mouth. We'll just see how long Google actually supports their mid-range line going down the road. If this is a one-hit wonder, they're out of the business in 2 years, or if we're still talking about Google's mid-range 4 years from now. I think that's really gonna be the test if Google is the ruler of the mid-range. Right now, we can't say they are. We can say there's potential there, but we can't say they are right now. Um, and curiously, I'm curious of what the Pixel 3a will drop down to at third-party retailers. Let's see. So their key specs, again, we went over this at the start of the stream here. The Qualcomm 730G, 6 gigs of RAM. Uh, Only storage is 128 gigs. Their starting storage, which is amazing. The main display, 5.81-inch OLED with transmissive hole. And the display resolution, 2340 by 1080. The aspect ratio, 19.5 by 9. And then you get your rear cameras here. USB-C with USB-D. That's power. What's that, power display or power USB-D? That's strictly power here. Let's see. I forget the acronyms for USB-D. Power delivery. That's right. USB power delivery. So USB power delivery 2.0, and then supports 18-watt fast charging. Fingerprint sensor, yes, and it's on the rear. It's on the rear. Yeah. No waterproofing, so we don't even get a IPX rating on anything. It's just like waterproofing, no. NFC. Whoa, whoa, whoa. This bad boy got NFC. Oh shit. This is really cooking up to be interesting. That was a surprise for me. I did not know it had NFC built in. So you can do all your mobile payments, tap your damn phone on that payment scanner, good to go. No more handing cards back and forth or injecting your card, swiping or inserting. Just use your phone. Headphone jack, we already know about that. Yes. So that's from a couple of sources, Engadget and The Verge. They're talking good stuff about the review units of the Pixel 4a, and looks like got little scuff marks. Should have put a case on it. Should have put a case on it. That should be a new song. Anytime you see a third party review site of any device and you start seeing scuff marks on it, just like should be a meme, but like stamp it. Should have put a case on it. Anyways, I digress on this Monday morning, everyone. A lot of parts of the country, well, East Coast, it's already afternoon. But us here in Mountain and Pacific, we're still in the morning hours. And yeah, Pixel 4a, not too shabby. I just want to give y'all that first look, that first view of the Pixel 4a on the playground, just kind of giving a play. And then yeah, we get a review unit of the Pixel 4a. We're gonna have to play with it on the playground and do a live review of the Pixel 4a, and where y'all can come in here, put in your questions about the 4a in the comments, and we'll review everything that y'all, get to all the comments, review everything y'all ask for. Um, Throw up some detailed images, some reviews, and just overall specs. No, we're gonna get way more from specs, but more real world usage of the phone. We'll do like maybe some screen on time, but more we'll do some video game testing, hook it up to the computer, and we can do share the screen of the Pixel 4a, and we can just do live simulations or live demoing of the 4a right there on the playground while y'all ask them questions. And again, this was the comparison of the Snapdragon 845, which is in the Pixel 3, versus the Snapdragon 730, which is in the Pixel 4a. So again, y'all, thank you for staying tuned or logging into this quick view of the Pixel 4a and kind of review of other tech sites and seeing what Google has to say about it. Again, I want to leave y'all with pre-orders are available, and it looks like you can still go through if you want to do the unlocked. And let's just say, next. Looks like it's still available, y'all. So jump if y'all want a really good phone at $350. Obviously, you still have your return policy if you find out, hey, this is not the phone for me after getting it and playing with it. But what's Google's return policy? Is it 30 days? I don't know. Y'all, if y'all find that out, just let us know what the return policy is on that. I believe it's 30 days or maybe 15. Let's see. I don't see anything. Placing an order. What if we could search for it? Returns. If returns. No, I don't want to do that. All right. So that is it for this, and that was the quick view of the Pixel 4a as its launch day. And again, it's available for pre-launch. Go to the store.google.com, pick your up a nice phone, especially if you've been walking a phone. Let's say, I don't know if this is a good upgrade for the Pixel 3a users. Maybe you want to wait another year, or maybe just wait till more reviews come out and kind of see how it all fits in the ecosystem. But for anyone that's rocking original Pixel, or let's say a Pixel 2, this may be the upgrade you've been waiting for at 350. Hopefully it doesn't break the bank, but I understand the times that we're in, and not everyone is getting free flowing money or getting money in general. We're having to work our asses for it. So uh, make a wise decision on your phone upgrade. Figure the Pixel 4a can last you for 3 years, since Google is stating that they're going to support it for 3 years. You're like, hey, I'm gonna put down 350, but this 350 is going to stretch out the life of 3 years. All right, y'all. Thank you again for tuning in. Don't forget to check out that daily special. I don't know what that's, some type of Google show that they put on. Don't forget your free 2-day shipping. And until next time, guys, we're leaving the playground. Peace.